To Kenya, tourism revenue in Baringo County in Kenya has decreased by about 95 million shillings. This has been attributed to the reduced number of tourists in the region and as a result of a negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic and flooding. The county suffered a double setback as floods destroyed hotels and lodges along the shores of lakes Baringo and Bogoria. Absa Bank in Kenya has launched a new digital innovation dubbed Abby, which allows its customers to access their accounts and transact via WhatsApp. Abby is an AI-powered conversational bot that allows customers to do account-to-account transfers, bill payments, and the likes. Balanced inquiry also included. So joining us to discuss this, plus some other headlines from Kenya, is Kalia Kiptioni, who is an investment analyst and a PhD candidate at Stellenbosch University in South Africa, joining us now to discuss. Kalia, good morning to you. What do you make of the Absa's artificial intelligence move with banking on WhatsApp? Is that new or already in practice with other banks in the region?
Hi, Robert. Thank you for having me. It's relatively new, but there are a couple of banks that have had it in the region. But Absa is the first one to properly come and make a proper big launch of the product. So I think it's interesting innovation in the banking space, and we see how it will be adopted.
Is it a PR stunt, or do you think it'll actually be effective?
I think it depends on the client market. So with Absa's core clientele, it's usually the middle income. I think banks that target the lower income segment would benefit more from that, because most telephone providers now offer free WhatsApp in their data package. So it would make transactions easier. But for Absa's core clientele, in my opinion, I think most of them function well with the mobile apps. So I don't know whether there'll be a significant difference, but for banks with the lower end, they will probably have better uptick and better usage.
Thanks, Kaya. What's the impact of the loss of tourism revenue in Baringo to, I guess, the wider Kenyan economy?
I think Baringo, first of all, Baringo is actually my home county, so this is very close. Yes. So I think the impact is more felt locally in the local economy, because this is funds that would have gone to the county. So you find even the local fishermen are struggling quite a bit. They don't have places to sell their fish, and the customer base is not as strong now. So I think locally the impact is felt more, but I think the tourism struggle is just a national struggle at the moment, because you find countries like the US has downgraded us and issued travel advisory, with the UK still having us in restricted. So, and those are our two biggest tourism markets. I think it's a matter of time before the tourism space actually speaks up in Kenya.
All right, and there's, I understand that Kenya has recorded, for the first time in about a decade or so, more imports from Tanzania than exports. What's the impact of a negative trade balance with Tanzania?
I think it's a cause for concern for Kenyans and for the government, because historically Kenya has been the country that exports mostly to our East African neighbors, notably Uganda and Tanzania. And with this move, or with Tanzania now, with Kenya importing more from Tanzania, then it shows that Tanzania are more aggressive in terms of their productivity and their output compared to what we are doing. So questions need to be asked on how the country can improve and go back to being the economic powerhouse of the region. Interesting to note as well, I think Tanzania also overtook Kenya as the largest exporters to Uganda. So there are questions that need to be asked in the Kenyan side. But also I think it shows Tanzania being more aggressive and being more receptive towards the East African community, because more they've been trading a lot with the Southern, with SADC. So moving more towards the EAC, I think could show that shift in strategy.
Great stuff. And would you attribute would you attribute COVID to any of these data points switching in favor of Tanzania that has impacted Kenya as far as the trade balance?
Yeah, COVID, because Tanzania didn't have any restrictions. most of last year. They continued producing as usual. And also, when you look at the exchange rates, Kenya vis-a-vis Tanzania, the Tanzanian shilling depreciated compared to the Kenyan shilling, especially in 2020, 2021, and that made Tanzanian goods cheaper. So that could also be part of the reason why there was more exports, more imports from Tanzania on the Kenyan side.
Fantastic stuff. Kela Kiptioni, investment analyst, also PhD candidate. Thank you so much for joining us to talk about the Kenyan economy. Appreciate your insights.